Shalom, everybody. Just want to real quick and do a little talk. It was announced that American ground forces will be withdrawing from Syria in 2019. Um, a couple things I want to respond to. You've seen a lot of talking points on the internet and the media about what a disaster this is, how this is going to erode all the progress that's been made in Syria, and how this is effectively going to hand over control of Syria to very malevolent forces. Let's get something very clear from the start. The American ground intervention in Syria was a token effort with token results. Okay? I'm not trying to belittle the men that have fought there. And the handful, I think there's 5 that have died there, 3 of them in non-combat related incidents. America intervened on the ground to fight the Islamic State, or ISIS. Okay? ISIS is not a sincere strategic threat anymore. It's not in control for dominance in Syria. As far as the claim that there's a void that's going to be filled by Assad, Turkey, or Iran or Russia, the American presence in Syria did nothing to limit those in any case whatsoever. America was not there fighting the Syrians. It was not there fighting the Iranians or the Russians or the Turks. Okay? Most of what America was doing in Syria on the ground was something called foreign internal defense, which is teaching the locals, in some cases Kurds, how to fight for themselves, which they've been doing quite marvelously. In other cases, it's doing what's called BDA, bomb damage assessment, where airstrikes are called on ISIS targets, and U.S. troops on the ground, mostly special operators, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, that type of thing. They watch from a distance to make sure to see what the aftermath is. There's about 2,000 troops on the ground in Syria. That's a token amount. That's a very, very small amount. The withdrawal of such a small force doing what it was doing is not going to make a difference, is not going to make a significant difference in any way whatsoever. It's still going to be a quagmire. None of the people on the ground are going to be friendly to us. Strategically, what it does do, what America withdrawing its troops does accomplish, is it frees us up to hit back in certain places where we've been limited from doing so. And that's really about it. As far as the claim that this is going to be a disaster for the Kurds, that doesn't really hold water either. Before America put boots on the ground, things were not fantastic for the Kurds. They held their own, which they're still doing, and which I imagine they'll still continue to do afterwards. At the end of the day, America leaving Syria, and they never should have been there. America never should have had boots on the ground in Syria. Okay? It was not, I think, I don't want to pontificate too much, but I think that it was basically a measure so that certain people in power could say that they were doing something about it. I mean, not to mention his name, but there's a certain president of the United States that's made a very, very big deal in his platform about defeating ISIS. And so he sent troops into Syria. They've been there for a while. They've never been more than 4,000. Right now they're about 2,000. And that number is going to go down to 0. America does not need to have troops on the ground in Syria to have influence in Syria. Most of what it does, it can still do via airstrikes or missile strikes when it needs to. And that's basically it. This is not a doomsday scenario. 2,000 Americans went into Syria, 2,000 are leaving. They didn't make a huge difference while they were there, and their departure is not going to make a huge difference. Everybody calm down, take a pill.